One of the things that fulfills us as human persons is giving ourselves away through some type of good work or praying for others in a real sacrificial way. And what I mean by that is when we don't want to go to work or we don't want to pray. This is where we need to learn this prayer by heart. Get behind me, Satan. For the more we advance in wisdom, we realize it is in this sacrificial work or time of prayer where I find happiness, where I find fulfillment, and where I find peace in offering myself in a sacrificial way to God. For without some definitive work for a man or woman to shoulder, they lack the understanding of their purpose and meaning of life. Life is not simply about serving ourselves, but bearing the burdens of others through working within the family and community. It is seeing one another face to face and helping where we can. In other words, to be eager to do good and always in a humble way, recognizing without God we can do nothing. And this is why a deep prayer life must precede all of our works, where we seek to give glory to God and not ourselves. For when Christ rebukes Peter, it's twofold. One, because he does not understand Christ's mission. It's not to save the world through some military campaign, but through a sacrifice for sin to redeem humanity from its major and more pressing problem. The reason why all wars begin in the first place, sin. For Christ goes to the cross and gives himself in a sacrificial way to redeem man from sin, that he may grow in holiness and be prepared to die in a state of friendship with God, no matter how that happens to take place, which we know through the martyrs does not always happen in ideal circumstances. Secondly, it's to show what our life is about and the meaning of our life. It's to give ourselves away in a sacrificial offering. Our bodies were not meant for sitting around in comfort, for this usually leads people to a diluted understanding of themselves and often leads to gossip about others. But we are called to lay down our life through a particular prayer life and work, where we come together and help one another in whatever field of work we find ourselves in. But it is important here that I speak about virtue, which is the means between excess and defect. For virtue is understood in work to be the middle between comfort and rigor. Either direction can really be deadly for a person's life. If we are human beings and the body needs rest, we are not machines, and even the soul needs time to play or simply enjoy life. But on the other hand, we must arise when we do not want to arise and work when we do not want to work. For discipline like this saves our soul from the destruction that comes from sloth. And one of the ways we can look at sloth is when a person is enslaved to comfort and they become angry or even sad at the work that is placed before them to save their soul from destruction. Sloth arises from a lack of discipline and crushes souls in its path.